Hey viewers, you're watching The Savera and I'm Vidhi Joshi. Chaos erupted in Washington DC when gunfire shattered an otherwise ordinary afternoon, just blocks from the White House, critically injuring two members of the West Virginia National Guard and sending shockwaves through the nation's capital. The Guardsmen deployed as part of President Donald Trump's anti-crime initiative were patrolling near a metro station northwest of the White House when the attack occurred. Metropolitan Police quickly confirmed the shooting and urged the public to avoid the area as officers, federal agents and emergency responders converged on the scene. Although the motive for the attack remains unclear, early accounts describe it as a deliberate and targeted act of violence carried out in broad daylight. The ambush unfolded in an area that has seen a heightened military and law enforcement presence for months. According to Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser and FBI Director Kash Patel, both the injured soldiers were rushed to the nearby hospitals in critical condition. Assistant DC Police Chief Jeffrey Carroll explained that surveillance footage captured the suspect approaching from around a corner before abruptly raising a firearm and opening fire on the troops. At least one guardsman returned fire and officers quickly closed in, wounding the suspect and taking him into custody. Officials later confirmed the suspect's injuries were not life-threatening and he is now being questioned as investigators work to piece together a motive. Witnesses described moments of pure panic as the sound of gunshots echoed through the busy intersection. Stacey Walters, who was waiting in a car nearby, said that she heard two sharp bangs and instantly saw people running for cover. She wondered aloud how such violence could erupt on such a beautiful day, just as the city prepared for the holiday season. Another witness had just stepped out of the metro station when the gunfire began. She and other commuters rushed into a cafe for shelter, where she later watched first responders struggle to stabilize a wounded guardsman whose head appeared covered in blood. Video shared online captured paramedics performing CPR on one soldier as shattered glass and debris littered the sidewalk under flashing red and blue lights. The attack comes during a period of intense debate over the National Guard's expanded role in domestic law enforcement. More than 300 members of the West Virginia National Guard were deployed to Washington in August under a federal order from President Trump aimed at reducing violent crime in the city. About 160 of those troops had recently volunteered to extend their service through the end of the year. The deployment has been politically divisive, sparking lawsuits and raising concerns about the use of military personnel in civilian policing. Just a week earlier, a federal judge ordered the Guards' withdrawal, though enforcement of the ruling was paused for 21 days to allow the administration time to appeal. In response to the shooting, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced that President Donald Trump had ordered an additional 500 National Guard members to Washington, reinforcing the roughly 2,200 troops already operating in the city. The confusion briefly spread after West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey initially reported that the two guardsmen had died from their wounds, but he later clarified that his office had received conflicting information from federal officials and that both the soldiers remained hospitalized. Meanwhile, Vice President J.D. Vance, speaking to service members at Fort Campbell, urged Americans to pray for the injured and emphasized the sacrifices made by those who protect the nation. As investigators continue to search for a motive, authorities believe that the shooter acted alone. For now, the city is left reeling from the sudden violence that unfolded in the shadow of the White House, a stark reminder of the fragile line between routine order and chaos in the heart of the nation's capital. That's all for now. Stay tuned to The Savera for more updates.
Well, I was headed to get lunch, and I got up to 17th and I Street and was going to take a right. And as soon as I got 17th and I Street, we heard like rapid gunshots. So myself and other people started to run back down I Street. There were also like a UPS truck that like was speeding by too. And we got about halfway down I Street towards 18th, and we stopped because everything was quiet. So we thought maybe it was construction going on. No, it certainly didn't sound like that. But then we started walking back, and then we heard more gunfire. So we ran down the street, and then about a minute later, we still weren't completely convinced that it was gunfire. So I walked back to the corner, and I only saw one police car there, so I figured it couldn't be anything. So I walked up and I saw they had a person pinned on the ground yelling at him to stay down, and there was broken glass in the bus stop, and then they moved, like it was some sort of construction vehicle or something along those lines, and they moved the vehicle, and that's when we saw two National Guards on the ground, and one they were trying to resuscitate. And then at that point, it was still even a couple of minutes before there was any response. Like they didn't have anything closed off, and it was kind of surreal, to be honest with you. And it took us a couple of minutes to realize how serious the situation was.
Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.